Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Game Brothers podcast. This is episode number 46 of this weekly podcast where we talk about board games and video games, what we're playing, what we're excited about, what's going on in the news. My name's David, and the two brothers in green today are here. I'm joined by Devin, my better half. How you doing?
Oh, shoot. I'm doing fantastic. I don't know that I'm the better half, but doing well. Yes, I'm not sick anymore. It's freezing outside.
Very cold.
My car has a flat tire. Which is cool. It's nice. Like every 2 days, I have to turn the air compressor on, and the air compressor hose doesn't reach my car because I have to park in the driveway. So I have to like heft the air compressor and fill it up. And today on my way over here, it was like 5 psi, and it's supposed to be 40.
On the way or before you left?
Before I left,
Oh,
and I thought the tire.
Cool.
I thought it was off the rim. I was like, oh
flat?
no, oh no. But luckily it was not. Filled it up and got over here. I'm doing great though. Life's interesting. Life's a trip, but
it is.
It's a good thing.
Sometimes it's a crazy hard trip. Other times feels like a fun vacation.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm grateful for the experience of life. It is, if you think about it from a bird's eye view, I guess. It really is a blessing to be here. It's, I don't know. It's a weird thing.
It is. And just statistically, I'm a data analyst. I like math.
Mm-hmm.
And I see like posts on the internet or videos, reels, whatever they are, sometimes about just like the improbability that you are even here in the first place, just based on like all of the circumstances required for life to even be possible on a planet. And then for a human to be possible. Just crazy. So happy to be here, even though some days it's hard.
It is. Imagine this. Imagine everything in life worked so perfectly except for one thing. Everything audibly was 10 times louder. And so, like a frog ribbits, you go deaf instantly. You know what I mean? Like, we're lucky that everything is toned to our specific range of tolerance, I guess.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I do. Not to get religious, but, you know, it makes it feel like it was, like, kind of made for us, you know?
Oh, shoot. Straight up.
But yeah, I agree. Everything's a little too perfect on this planet. As humans, though, we like to ruin it. And we're doing a pretty good job of that.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to self-sabotage personally, so.
I do that sometimes, too.
But I will stop.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Devin, let's see what else is going on here. The Super Bowl was this last weekend. Watched that, kind of. Ate a lot of snacks, basically. Very poor football game.
Yeah, it did not go the way I thought it was going to go at all. Typically, the Super Bowl seems like it's relatively close. Yeah. And that's what makes the game fun.
26-0 or something at halftime? It was some big number.
Yeah, big deficit. The Eagles were just a bigger, heavier, stronger team, it seemed like.
Yeah, the offensive line for the Chiefs felt like they were giving the quarterback, what's his name, Mahomes, like no time. He got sacked a lot.
Yeah. I kind of felt bad for him, to be honest, because they almost made history of doing it 3 times in a row, winning the whole thing. It's never been done. And everyone sees the Chiefs as the villain now. They think the refs are on their side. And, you know, maybe sometimes they have been, but ultimately, I think they have won the games they've won.
Yeah. Still just shows you, like, the team that is playing better that day can just win and sometimes crush you. Even
yeah. They knew what they were doing. They came prepped. They ate their protein.
Yeah, the Eagles were very on the ball. I feel like the only thing that anyone wants to talk about, though, is the halftime show. At least when I'm on the internet. It's all Kendrick Lamar and Drake drama. I don't know very much about this, but we'll save the world from that. But
yeah, for me, I don't care at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, they're getting exactly what they want by everyone.
Yeah, talking about them.
Exactly.
At the same time, though, if those like allegations against Drake are true, like super scumbag.
Oh, I actually don't know the allegations, but
that he's like a predator a bit. Like,
oh, wow.
Tries to get girls that are underage.
They should make an Alien vs. Predator 2, and Kendrick will be the alien.
There you go.
I don't know.
That's funny.
But no, I didn't hate the halftime show, but I also didn't love it. It was super short. It was like 15 minutes.
It wasn't very long, and I feel like it was almost like specifically made to just like really harp on Drake. Like that song.
Oh man,
like,
see, that's silly. You get this opportunity that no one else in the world gets.
Yeah.
And
I think like I don't think it's all Kendrick's fault. I feel like Drake like called him out or something first, but then Kendrick did it back, and then Drake's lawyers are like suing him and all kinds of stuff, and so he just doubled down. And Drake was like, "Don't you dare play that song at the Super Bowl, that one that has my name in it."
Yeah.
And then he totally did. But
interesting. We live in a weird world where I feel like social media gets introduced and more things become okay that didn't used to be okay.
Right.
Like you can almost just like cyber bully people and everyone gets on board. And if everyone's on board, then they don't get in trouble.
Right.
It's like there's a big drive to not pay your taxes this year. A lot of people are like,
I already did.
I will never pay again now that I know where the government has sent my money. And I'm like, interesting, because if everybody did that, you can't arrest everybody.
That's true.
You know, there's something to it.
Yeah, that's kind of what
interesting.
America was built on, was, you know, the founders coming from England and then saying, we're not paying taxes to you guys, you're across the ocean. So that is what that's very American. We don't like to pay anybody anything.
No. I found a way to file your taxes for free.
Money Lion?
No, it's called IRS Direct File.
Oh, cool.
I think. And I've seen a lot of videos about it. They're saying, stop using TurboTax, stop paying these people $200, $300, $400 to do this, because you can just do it for free. And it seems to work for a lot of people.
Did you do it?
No, I don't know. I'll probably wait till like 3 days before the deadline, because that's what I do.
I did mine like January 15th.
Wow.
I do it through TurboTax just because there's a little extra complication. I have like the LLC and like this stuff and some health stuff and like an HSA account and crap. So there's a bit more to do than just strictly like my W-2 and stuff.
That probably takes you a couple hours then.
Yeah, I think my clock was 4.5 hours.
Oh my goodness. My life's so simple. Mine's never been over like 50 minutes.
I was double checking a lot of things, like looking back through receipts and spreadsheets and crap. I think one year when it was much simpler, I did it in like 25 minutes. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it can be pretty simple. Taxes are fun though. I always do like, if you have like a corporate job and they're pulling taxes out during the year, you can determine like how many. What do they call them? I don't remember the term.
I knew it.
Claimant or like a...
Yeah, how many something you claim.
Yeah. Allowances? Is that it? No. It's something like that. And I always make sure they pull out enough that I know I'm getting money back, because I don't ever want to have to pay them.
Yeah. Right, yeah. And then you can just plan your life out based on your bi-monthly checks of income.
And know that you've got a little buffer room at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's kind of... I think it's a smart way to do it, because the alternative would...
It would stink. At the same time, I've basically given... By letting the government take more of my money during the year, I've basically given them a loan for 12 months, and then they don't have to pay me interest,
They should have to pay. That'd be nice.
So, yeah, that would be nice. Because it's not like if I don't pay them my taxes, it's not like they're not going to come after me like crazy. So, I don't know. Oh, the joys of living in a democracy. I don't know. It whatever. Let's see, Devin. Anything else new this week? What is today? Today's February 12th.
It's almost Valentine's Day. You doing anything for that?
I got Lacey some flowers from Costco.
Oh, shoot. Be a romantic.
Yeah. We don't have any like big plans other than that, though. She's getting ready for her half marathon. She's running it not this coming weekend, but next weekend in Orlando.
Wow.
So she's going to Disney World to run that. So I'm going to be... I took that whole week off because after the race, she's spending like 3 or 4 days with a friend in their beach house. They're very wealthy. And so she gets like a cool vacation I get time off work, which is cool. So I'll be playing Mr. Dad.
Whew, are
Wait,
you
what do
prepped?
they call it? Mr. Mom, actually.
Are you prepped for 3 kids? All to yourself.
Yeah. It'll be a little nuts. I mean, they do have school every day. At least the 2 older ones. So it'll mostly just be me and the young guy. I think that'll be okay.
Yeah, that's doable.
I do have to, get them up, ready for school, make a home lunch if they're not feeling the school lunch menu that day. Drop them off, make sure to remember to pick them up, clean the house and stuff. So it's going to be a little overwhelming, I think, but we'll see. I think I can. I'll make do. And with the week off, I'm hoping to go to Topgolf like every day while they're at school. We'll just take the young guy with me. He can sit on the couch.
I never thought at 34 years old you were going to just pick up golf hardcore again.
I know.
We all left that sport years ago.
We did. I loved it at 17 and 18. And then it just kind of vanished. Love it so much. It's amazing. It's so much fun. Very frustrating sport because there's never anyone else to blame but yourself.
Yeah, you can't blame the Wi-Fi.
And it's just like a mind game. I mean, there's like fundamentals and practice and stuff, but it really is like a very technical, somewhat simple sport. Man, it's so hard.
It is. I remember when I did super well, it was when I was well rested. My mind was there thinking of the few things I knew to improve my game.
But you can't be overstressed about it or else yeah.
And really just staring at that ball and not trying to swing my arms out of their sockets. And I was doing well.
Yep. That is definitely a key.
And then I realized I didn't want to pay $30 to play the sport and sold all my stuff. So
I might have your old ones in my garage.
Oh, really?
I have all of Dad's old clubs in the garage downstairs. Oh, along with that big, what was that? A Titleist bag or whatever it was.
Unreal, stealing my golf clubs.
Yeah, Dad gave them all to me. He was going to take them to the dump or something. So I was going to sell them, but been a little too lazy. So they're in the garage. All right, Devin. Super Movie Brothers here. I've only been watching a couple things. Watched Beast Games like usual. Finales tomorrow. Episode 9, I think, was last week's. It was pretty good. Little crazy. I don't know. It was the one. Are you caught up?
No. I'm at least 2 episodes behind.
Okay.
But you can tell me anything.
So I told you about last week's, right? Where they each got their own house.
And the girl came out and had like 26,000 left or something.
Right, instead of 100, like they thought they would. Then they all get mad at each other because a couple of them took more than they should have.
So it was 10 people and they could have
each taken 100.
I would have. Oh my gosh, that's so easy to just take the 100.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, you need to watch that one because it's crazy. Anyways, they go forward to the actual elimination event with that money. And they go up on like this big tower and they're each on their own like floor of the tower. And they have a red phone and he gives them like an hour to call and talk to each other as much as they want. And they can bribe each other with the money they took from that box.
Oh.
And at the end of the hour, then all 10 of them cast their vote and they can't vote for themselves. They have to vote for somebody else. And whoever gets the most votes is safe and will go into the finale. And only 6 of the 10 move on. So the 2 people that did take a ton of money, they have a lot more bribing power, right?
If I'm setting up this show, there's no way I'm making that selfish choice benefit them the next round.
Yeah, that's rough. There was one kid, he said, I think by taking no money, I'm going to be at a huge advantage.
That's how it should be.
And he took 0. So he had no bribing power.
Oh.
I'll let you watch what happens. But
no good deed goes unpunished.
There comes a point towards the last few rounds, because there's 6 rounds, right? And after each, the time goes down by 10 minutes. So 60, then 50, then 40, then 30, then 20, then 10. In like the last 2 rounds, one of the guys that took more money than he was supposed to just realizes he's not going to get any votes, right?
That is true.
So then, because they all hate him at that point, so his strategy shifts to, I'm going to try and take everyone else's money by telling them that I'm going to vote for them. So people are sending him all their money, trying to get
he's
his
telling
vote.
Multiple people that he's going to vote for them?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I don't like that person.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple of people on there you will not like. Kind of fun. Other than that, been watching some more stuff on Apple TV Plus. Finished the second season of Silo. Still thought it was great. Really good. The show kind of moves a little slowly, but man, I think it's really fun. I like it's not like science fiction, but it's like post-apocalyptic kind of, it's kind of halfway sci-fi, and I like that kind of vibe. So that's cool. Liked that. It did end on like a cliffhanger, like they shows usually do. And then I really want to start the second season of Severance, but it is not all out yet, and I really don't want to have to wait a week at a time.
Ugh, I know.
And so I decided, it's been a couple years, and I didn't think I remembered it very well, and I'm glad that we did this actually, because watching it, I'm like, oh man, I don't remember a lot of this. But we just started the first season of Severance.
Wow, good on you. I can't do that. If there's a third season out, and I know I've seen 1 and 2, what I will do is go and watch the last episode of season 2. And just to get a light recap.
Sometimes I'll go on YouTube and like search like season 1 recap and find like a 5 or 10 minute video that just goes over the details. But yeah, we just decided to rewatch it, knowing that it would take some time to rewatch the first season, but we have like 4 more weeks or 5 more weeks before the full season's out anyway, so it's fine. I forgot how excellent that show is. Just so good. And the
I need to watch that.
The cinematography and the direction is excellent as well. Really weird camera angles, and I just forgot how clever that mechanism is of, they've severed your brain and your work self cannot remember anything outside this building, but your home self does not know what you do for work. And
how do they know where to go?
They know where they work, and know how to get in there. But when they get in like this specific stairwell or elevator, there's a point where like it like swaps to the other one. And for each of the 2 severed halves, they obviously don't remember half of their day. So they like play with that a bit, where the person is like leaving work, getting in the elevator, and then the camera will just like turn around to them getting back the next day with different clothes on.
I see.
Because that's all they remember, is like going to sleep and being back there in a second.
Strange.
And in like the first episode, there's this girl trying to escape because she like wakes up and is freaked out by it. So she's trying to escape, and she keeps like booking out the door to the stairwell that's like takes you to the other side, but immediately like comes back in, and she can't figure out why. And they keep telling her like, every time you keep coming back in, it's because your outside self has decided to come back.
So she actually lived all that time as her normal self and then came back to work.
And in that one, it was only like a couple of seconds. Like her outside person like woke up and was like, no, I want to go back in there. So they're like, even really? Like immediately. And then she's like, tries to stick a note through the door, hoping her like outside self will see it and stuff. Really trippy, but it's excellent. So good. I forgot how good. So I'm excited to finish that. Has some cool twists and turns. A couple of them I remember, but I don't remember much, to be honest. It's crazy how quickly you can forget a show, even though I only think it was like 3 years ago. But super excellent. I think that's all for me though, Devin. I know you mentioned you've been watching a few movies. Any worthwhile ones, or are they all dumb?
Did I say that?
You said you watched a couple at like 4 a.m. the other day?
Oh, yeah. I watched Long Gone Heroes.
Never heard of that
last night on Peacock or Paramount, can't remember. Josh Hutcherson's in it. That jacked guy that has the briefcase that's in the elevator with Captain America, where Captain America knows that they're with Hydra.
Okay.
And he's
jacked guy.
Yeah, anyways. He was in it, and basically the Jack guy's niece gets kidnapped and she's in Venezuela, so he has to get a team together. Josh Hutcherson is very smart with tech, gets kind of recruited onto the team, and they got to go to Venezuela.
Wow.
And get this chick, and it honestly is very entertaining. It is intense. I watched We Live in Time with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh.
You'd seen that before, right?
Yes, I watched like half of it again because it was a new show on Hulu, I believe. Watched some Impractical Jokers. I'm looking forward to season 3 of Reacher in 8 days.
Oh, I love that show. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be a good time fill between the Severance stuff. Love it.
But I think there's probably more, but I don't remember past yesterday, so.
Hey, that was quite a list you just pulled out.
Heck yeah. I had to close my eyes.
You did. It was kind of impressive. You went into your, what does Sherlock call it? Your mind palace?
There was a party there and everything. It was hard.
More of like a mind movie theater. He walks in and can see them all playing on like a...
Oh, heck yeah. No, I have a mind liminal space. That's what I want.
There you go. Those are weird.
For anybody that doesn't know what liminal spaces are, you should look those up. It's very fun.
Yeah, they'll freak you out. A little bit. They're a little...
They make me nostalgic for some reason. I've never been there, but I have.
80s or 90s kind of architecture as well.
I love it so much.
Cool.
I think that's it, though, for me. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump in then, Devin. We got a bit this episode, so that'll be a good starting point. Like I mentioned at the top, this is the Super Game Brothers podcast. We talk every single week about the games that we're playing, board games and video games. As you can see behind me, I love board games. We also play way too many video games, so we always have a lot to talk about. You can listen to our show completely for free on YouTube. It comes out every Monday. It also is available for free on our Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers. If you do support us over there, though, you can get access to the show a little bit early, some extra stuff right into the show, get your name in the credits, perks like that, and it helps us to keep the light on since we are independent and not sponsored by board game or video game companies in any way. So appreciate our patrons. Shout out to them. And yeah, I think that's it for the intros, Devin. So let's get into the show. Here, our first segment, as always, is new games to subscription services. And the first one we're going to talk about is Board Game Arena. And there are 2 new games this week. Well, there were 2 articles. I think there might be technically 3 games. This first one is called Mythicals. It's a game from Repo's production, and it's not available in stores yet, but you can play it on Board Game Arena, which is kind of cool. It's a 2-player only game, and just reading the description here, it sounded a bit like Jaipur to me, which is one of the very first games that I got and used to play with my wife all of the time. Kind of moved on a little bit from Jaipur, but I still have it on the shelf behind me. It's excellent. This one mentions like collecting cards and then paying with a stack of different types of cards for points, it seems like. So that's the vibe I got, but I haven't tried it out yet. So that's Mythicals. Check that one out. And then, oh yeah, this article is actually a double feature. There's one called Kiva, which is designed by Johannes Guppy. I have a few games from him, like him as a designer. I don't know Guillaume Scholz, probably also a French designer like Johannes. But in this game, it says you get 5 cards, and you'll play one that will let you move a camel of the same color of card you play. Then you'll also have to pass one of your other 5 cards to the player on your left. So every turn you'll get like a new card from the person on your right and have to play one from your hand. So a little bit like drafting in that way. And then the other one is called Echo. And I think it is a trick-taking game. Yeah, trick-taking card game for 2 to 8 players. So pick there for me. I would like to try Mythicals probably, just because it reminded me of Jaipur. And that's high praise.
That's the highest praise.
It's praise that I've never heard anyone say about it. I just made it up in my mind, so it might not even be true.
Wow.
There you go. Board Game Arena. Really cool place to play board games. Play them really fast. It said you can play a round of Mythicals in 12 minutes on average.
Oh,
so
heck yeah.
Play super fast. I like that about Board Game Arena.
Well, PlayStation Essentials will be in March, but we have PlayStation Extra and Premium.
Yeah, they just announced these today. And some good games. Very good games if you haven't already played them, which is sometimes the problem for me. I'm like, oh, that's a great game that I played a year and a half ago. You can see the headliners here. We'll scroll down through some of them. There are a few here that I do want to play, so good kind of month for me. These should all be out on the 18th, which I think is Tuesday, like normal. And we'll skip this section. We'll talk more about these later on. The games here. We've got Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This is the second game from EA, in this Star Wars Jedi series. I thought this one was a huge step up from the first one, even though I liked the first one too. But man, story's great. Probably my favorite Star Wars piece of fiction since The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I liked that game.
Yeah,
from what I can remember, I really, really did like that.
Some good twists in the story. It's just excellent. Okay, Top Spin 2K25. I really like a good tennis game. I think they're really fun. I haven't played one in a long time though, other than like Mario Tennis. So I might try this one out. I don't know if it's any good, but 2K usually does good stuff with their basketball and WWE series and stuff. So I'll check that one out. This game is coming to the game catalog on day 1. It's called Lost Records Bloom and Rage, and this is Tape 1. So this game was made by the same company that made Life is Strange, and I think it has 2 episodes. The first episode will be included here for free on Tuesday, and the second episode they said is coming in April, so not a huge gap between episodes, which is good, but I wonder if, since I think it's only those 2 episodes, if hopefully each episode is a bit longer, so that you've only just barely finished the first one by the time the second one comes. Oh, and look, the second one arrives as part of PlayStation's game catalog again in April. So they'll both be included with PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium. So that's cool. I thought it was just the first one. All right, next, a JRPG I don't know really anything about. I've just never been really into this genre. This is a Saga Frontier Remastered for the PlayStation 4. Looks like it came out in 1998. Devin, this is a game you're going to play?
Absolutely not.
This next one is one I do want to play. I actually started it on my Rogue Ally when I had a Game Pass for the 3 months after I bought it. But I didn't finish it, so I only played like an hour. But I think one of like the developers from, what's the name of the team? Playdead, who made Limbo and Inside, left and made their own company. I think that is this company that made this game. I might be misremembering, but this one's called Somerville. You play as this guy with his dog, and he's trying to figure out what happened in like his town after like these weird monoliths and kind of alien-like things start happening. Similar vibe where, it's kind of a 2D plane, but there's stuff happening in the background, foreground. I like that kind of game. Next is Tin Hearts. Never heard of this one, but it says Lemmings-like puzzles, and that guy's holding a little robot thing. I never really loved Lemmings, where you just like start them down, make sure they don't fall off, and then they just follow like the path, and you gotta try to get them to an exit. But
if you squint your eyes, that guy looks just like Harrison Ford.
Huh. Okay.
Can you see it? Or like really just blur your vision? He just turns into Indiana Jones. It's crazy.
I have to blur it pretty hard, but yeah, I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
I saw there's a different actor that I saw first who's like he's like the ranger on the movie Holes that gives them all their water. Mr. Sir.
Oh, Mr. Sir. Yeah.
I saw him first, but okay. I eventually got to Harrison. So that's Tin Hearts. Then we got Mordhau. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a multiplayer medieval slasher in which your mercenary will fight in brutal battles. Engage, small scale engagements to 64-player all-out war. Crazy. Then on premium, there are 2 classics, Patapon 3, which is kind of a musical game that I think was on the PSP. Yeah, originally released on the PSP. And then this one I've never heard of, Dropship United Peace Force. And let's see if it says originally released on the PS2, the only PlayStation console that we didn't have. So I've never played this one. But anyways, that is it for PlayStation Plus game catalog. And all of those are available on Extra, and then the classics just on Premium. Whew. So that is it for game catalog this month.
Next up is Nintendo.
Yeah, just one simple one here. If you have Nintendo Switch Online and the expansion pack, which is like their upgraded version of their subscription, then you can get the Game Boy Advance collection, and they're adding this game, which is Wario Land 4. I love the Game Boy Advance era, so I love like the pixelated colors that the Game Boy Advance can play, but I've never played this game, so I don't know if it's any good. But this is where I played Mario Golf and Mario Kart Advance and some other great games. I love the Game Boy Advance. It's great. So this one's on probably the day you're hearing this, or 3 days prior to you hearing it. On Valentine's Day, that game is coming to Nintendo Switch Online. All right, and then I think we have Epic Games Store has one game and a DLC kind of pack. The DLC pack is for Apex Legends. You can get some stuff for Loba. Is that her name? Character? I think it's Loba.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You can get some cosmetics, I believe. But the game is...
By doing what?
It's just free on the Epic Games Store.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay.
So you just gotta... If you play on PC... well, I don't know. You might be able to like log it on Epic, and then maybe it will cross-sync like across your PlayStation.
I would hope it would.
If they have cross-progression like that. But F1 Manager 2024 is the free game starting tomorrow. A lot of people like these management and simulation games. Like, I think there's like a football manager, and then you've got all the ones about like driving trucks and running like a gas station and card shop and all kinds of things. I don't even know if you do the races. I think it's just a simulator.
Wow.
Or not a like a. You're making sure that like the crew that replaces the tires is doing everything well and stuff.
And they're happy.
Yeah, which is kind of
crazy. So interesting. I love the diversity of humans because I would hate this game.
Exactly. I want to be the one racing, and then I guess if I had a friend that liked this part, they could handle the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Graphically, it looks really cool. But let's see. Maybe it says. Maybe you get to race. Packed with 24 races, new cars, new team principles, and an updated F1 sprint race format. Maybe you could race then. I don't know. But a lot of these management games don't, like that's not the focus, is on the actual thing. But anyways, that's F1 Manager 2024. All right, and then Prime Gaming's February games were finally revealed as well. And they've got some good ones here. Let me close that little tab. Okay, so the free games here, you can see their highlights, but we'll kind of read through them as well. The ones that are available now are BioShock Infinite Complete Edition. I think over the past few months they've done BioShock, BioShock 2, and now Infinite. I wonder if... I can't remember who owns BioShock. Is it 2K? For some reason I think it is. I wonder if they're trying to hype up BioShock in the lead up to Judas, which everyone thinks is coming out this year.
I'm excited.
It seems like that's the case. I really liked BioShock Infinite. So play that one if you haven't. Surf World Series. Experience the thrill of killer tricks and monster waves at 5 legendary surfing destinations. Never played a surfing game, except for on my Playdate. A pretty good surfing game on there. But AK Xolotl Together. This is plays an axolotl with an AK-47. And you can play in co-op. Sands of Aura, an open world adventure set in a world buried beneath a sea of sand. The Talos Principle Gold Edition, if you like puzzle games, like things like Portal, Talos Principle is a pretty great one. I really like those. Just bought the second one, but I haven't started it yet. A Stunt Kite Party. It's a family-friendly, single-player, and couch co-op multiplayer game with an exciting storyline and endless fun in numerous game modes. That didn't tell me much.
Tell us everything by telling us nothing.
I was going to say, that was a lot of words, but I still don't know what it is. The Smurfs 2, Prisoner of the Green Stone. With your crack team, wow, and the help of the Smurfio mix, liberate the village of the Smurfs from the grip of the Green Stone.
Wow.
Hard Space Shipbreaker. I don't know what that is. Devin, read this next one because I don't know what that word is.
Lisfanga.
Lisfanga?
It's Topanga's cousin.
Nice. Lisfanga, the Time Shift Warrior. Rewind time to create clones of your past selves and fight with an army of your own. Wow. Dark Sky. Play as somebody named Squig. A Wolf Prime denizen and shipyard worker. And then Wolfenstein Youngblood on the 20th. That's another one of the headliners. El Hijo, a Wild West tale. And then Colt Canyon, Republic of Jungle. Royal Romance's Cursed Hearts Collector's Edition. There's some weird ones here at the end. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. That's a big one. Night Reverie. Cinemora EX, which is a shmup that's supposed to be pretty great. Redemption Reapers, and Yes, Your Grace. Some of those you'll definitely never have heard of. But if you have Prime, free is free. Add them to that free collection. All right, Devin. We're now on to what we have been playing. Do you want to start us off?
I do, yeah.
Cool.
Mine is short and sweet. I have played a little bit of this with you, Tales of Iron 2, but we'll let you talk about that.
Cool.
What have I played? Nothing really. I'm considering, I was talking to Dave earlier, considering deleting Clash Royale. It has taken too much of my life from me, and I would like some of my life back. But I have played that a little bit. I've mostly been playing Apex Legends. New season dropped yesterday. A couple balance changes to a couple characters. Not a new ranked map, but you're playing ranked on a different map from the game.
Oh, okay.
And the map layout's better. Like, you know, in Fortnite, you're in the battle bus flying over the island.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do in Apex Legends as well. And beforehand, it was less clear where all the areas were. Now there's these big highlighted banners above every area, and also tells you what kind of gun types and ammo types are there, so you can strategically pick
That's cool.
where to land. What else is new in the game?
Are there a lot of new characters and guns?
There's been a lot of new characters in the last year, but for this season they did not release a new legend, but it's their 6th anniversary. There's a lot of new skins. I play as Valkyrie. She's cool. She's the only one that can fly. She has wings. And yeah, I honestly love that Battle Royale because it is so difficult. You have to so strategically play. It's so fast paced. You have to lead your bullets. There's not just, I can't remember what my friend called it, aim tracking, where if your crosshair is on them, it always hits. That's not how it is.
Right. In Fortnite, like half the guns use that.
Correct. Yes.
Except for the snipers, I think.
But I love it. I think it's super, super fun. Three people in a party or in a team is a good number.
Yeah.
It's a good time. But other than that, I have not been playing any video games.
Hey, that's a hardcore one to be playing. I do like Apex. I think it's cool. It is so fast, though. Like, high-level play of that is, like, just so far above me. It's the same with any of them, really, but I feel like that one's just faster than most of them. I feel like to be good, you have to be sliding everywhere. You're always, like, trying to get downhill, and you can shoot while you're sliding, and it's nuts. That's cool. That's a fun one, though. I do like Apex. All right, for me, coming back up here to the screen, I've only really been playing one video game this week. Played a little bit with Devin as well, but I've been playing Tales of Iron 2, the second Metroidvania in a row after Ender Magnolia, and I really, really like it. I like how oddly violent it is. Um, but it also has like colorful, cartoony art a bit, which yeah, it makes it seem a little less intense, which is cool. Cool story. This one has quite a bit more variety than the first game, especially in the enemies you're fighting. First one was almost exclusively frogs. There were, I think, were a few different types. So this one has frogs, spiders, snakes, like these uh, centipedes, birds, bats, uh, porcupines, and then
rabbits. Did you say
I think
rabbits? Are they not
I think the
rabbits?
rabbits are generally your friend, but they're
Oh.
some of the bats can bring dead rabbits back to life.
Huh.
So there's quite a bit different, a lot of variety in like those different races, and tons of variety in like the armor sets because each race has its own armor set, its own what do they call it? One-handed weapon, two-handed weapon. I think their own bow and arrow. What's the bow and arrow that cocks back like this? What's that
A
called?
crossbow?
Crossbow and a gun. Um, and then an armor set has a helmet, a shield, a cuirass, and legs. Does it have a leg? Maybe. There's just a lot, and you can mix and match those, and they have different stats. The different like classes focus on it. We're strong with electric or fire or ice, or just pure damage output and stuff. And so I don't know. It's a little overwhelming with how many pieces of equipment there are. You could probably make a really cool build where you're like, I'm not um there isn't any element that I'm not immune to because I've mixed and matched a bit
Right.
of everything. But I don't do that usually. I just pick one that I'm like, that one looks pretty strong, looks pretty cool. I'm going all out in that one. And then I try to keep my weight down a little bit so I'm not a heavy class. But yeah, it's very cool. Really like it. I got to give it a bit of props for one thing, especially. Game just came out, so bugs can be common for a game that just came out. I feel like Ender Magnolia was different because it was in early access for a year before it came out to PlayStation last month. So that one was like flawless. I didn't encounter a single bug. In this game, I have encountered two. It froze once, and I just turned it off and turned it back on, and then I was back at the last save just a few seconds earlier because there are benches everywhere that you can save at. So that was fine. But the second one was more intense. I accidentally got to like this area I was supposed to go in a quest through like a back door, and the enemies weren't expecting me. So when I got in there, like my character got stuck and couldn't move, and then the enemies didn't know what to do, and I don't think they were moving either. And we tried turning it off and reloading it like 3-4 times, and I was getting really nervous.
Oh,
I was probably 6 hours in at that point. And I've had that happen with a few other games. It happened to me with Resident Evil 4, and I could not fix it. I just had to wipe it, and I've never gone back yet. Even though I want to, that game's excellent. So I was nervous. I was like, man, am I gonna just fall off this game? But I was just kind of clicking around, and in the spot where you can choose your save file, they have 3 slots. There's like a delete button, and then there was a little like half circle with an arrow. I was like, I wonder what that means. So I just clicked on it, and it has boom, 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 3 backup saves that it automatically saves for each save slot. So I was just able to go back to the next one. Probably was like 3 to 5 minutes prior.
That makes my rating of this game go up drastically. That's so smart.
Yep. Every game should do that because you can't save yourself from every bug because there are so many weird circumstances that you didn't plan for. Like I accidentally got in that quest in the wrong order or something. But if you just have a few previous saves that are just automatically there, saved me a lot of hassle and made, like you said, made me not hate the game. And I'm going to finish it now. And I don't know if I would have. So big shout out for that. It's a lot of fun. It's hard at the beginning because you don't have great armor and weapons and stuff. Once you do get a level 3 set of armor, man, I'm just mowing through people because you just start to take so much more damage or the resistance, I guess, is so much higher that my health bar would be completely gone in 2 hits, whereas now it takes like 15.
Yeah.
Right?
Huge difference.
The one downfall to that is I'm very weak to fire. So if I'm fighting a fire enemy, then I'm in trouble. But I could swap armor sets before that fight, I guess. But fun, lots of variability. I like having a narrator. I like that it's hefty and, focused on dodging and parrying and rolling, as opposed to Ender Magnolia that had like the I'm focused on being in a good spot that I can hit you with my guns as much as possible and then getting in there a little bit. So I'm not sure which one I like better so far. I think Ender Magnolia is prettier. It's better music, but I like the narrator here. I like the animal vibe. Not always down for that, but I feel like it's done pretty cool here. So I'm not sure. Really like Tales of Iron 2. Highly recommend it. I think it's like $20. I've probably played 10 hours so far, and my percentage was like 43%. So I don't know. You might get 15 or 20 out of it before you get the platinum, which doesn't seem like it's a very difficult platinum either. You can play it on the easiest difficulty if you want, and still get it. So anyways, that's Tales of Iron 2, and that is it for me for video games this week. All right.
Well, are you ready to continue talking? Because I didn't play any board games this week.
Oh, yes, I am.
And you did.
I'm actually going to take us down to the table. I played one game, Devin. We'll show the picture here, I guess, beforehand. But I played Defenders of the Wild, which is a game I got a couple of months ago, and I've wanted to play it, but haven't been able to. So let me go down to the table, and we'll show it a little bit better, hopefully. See if this works. A little glitchy going down there, but we're here. Okay, Devin, this is Defenders of the Wild, and I think aesthetically, it looks a lot like Root. Kind of see the artwork there. I'm getting a little bit of weirdness. Let me go table only. That should fix that. Okay. I feel like it should fix it. Here we go. Are we working? We're kind of working. I don't know if that's a little glitchy. I'm sorry, everybody, but we're figuring it out. Cool artwork. In the game, you play as a different animal faction, and this is a cooperative game where the people you're playing with, I guess, thematically, the animal races don't really like each other, but they've decided to work together because these robots and machines are taking over the land. And so you are trying to, before the robots build all of their factories, kind of retake over the land by destroying them. They call it rewilding, but if you destroy a factory, you flip it over. Getting all of your camps out to kind of spread your influence back over the map, and you do it together with the other player. It looks very cool. Again, really like the artistic aesthetic, and I like these, what do they call them? I can't remember what they call them. Let me flip over this card here and maybe it will tell me. Engines, that's the one. These big engine pieces, after everyone takes a turn, they flip over a machine card and something will happen with the machines. More mechs might spawn that can snipe you or attack you, or the engines might move. And when the engines move, they'll move 2 spaces. Depending on where this piece here is at the moment, they'll turn right or left. And then behind themselves, they will build new walls, which makes it more difficult for you to move around the map. And if a hex ever gets completely surrounded by walls, then it will build a factory there. So that's kind of how they're spreading out as well. So you're trying to move quickly in order to not let all of the factories be built, because once the 5th one is built, that's an automatic loss. If you ever take 3 damage, then you have to randomly discard one of your cards from your hand, and they have different animal suits. And if you ever have a second defender die of the same suit, then that's a loss, so you got to be careful with not taking too much damage. And yeah, it's a bit like games like Pandemic, and in the way that there's like bad things happening at the end of every turn, and you're trying to be fast and efficient in order to do the things that you need to do before all the bad things happen. It is cool. You have to like break through the walls with these little breach tokens in order to even move in. When you do any actions next to a mech that's in a factory, those are snipers and they try to shoot at you. If you're in a spot with a mech, then they try to smack you as well. And yeah, I don't know what else to really say about it. I liked it. Cooperative games are very much tricky with me. I like the idea of them, I think, more than I actually like playing them. I did think this was a good one, though. It's better than a lot of them that I've played. So I think I'll keep it for the time being. Devin, I think you might like it because it's a card game. You play with cards mostly. You do move a little bit on the map, but most of the game is in the cards. So I played Defenders of the Wild. We actually lost. We were very close. I had one more camp to get out, and then I think we would have won as long as we were able to destroy this factory. But as you can see, Alex, who I was playing with, was right there, and so we were close. But the last factory was built before we were able to do that. So kind of a crazy game. Probably took an hour and a half to 2 hours. I think it says 30 minutes per player on the box, but it was also the first time I had played, so we were a little bit slow for sure. Anyways, that's Defenders of the Wild. Still a little unsure how I completely feel about it, but had a good time playing, at least for the first time. Yeah, I think that is back to face. Yeah, there we go. I think that is it for me for board games this week. All right, Devin, that brings us to what we are looking forward to. And for me, not to like just steal all the thunder and go first, but I mostly just want to finish Tales of Iron 2. And I think next I might play the Talos Principle 2. The first Kingdom Come Deliverance is on sale right now for like $9. I was like, oh, maybe I'll try that. Because that second one just came out and everyone's raving about it. So I'm not sure. I don't know if there's any other video games at the moment that are super screaming my name. But Tales of Iron 2, we'll definitely finish that one out and then see what calls to me next. Devin, other than more Apex, anything else you're looking forward to?
I'm curious about Avowed, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm seeing here in February is
that's
nothing else is really calling me at all.
Yeah, I think that's the big one in the next week or two. Civilization 7 just came out yesterday, and then Avowed comes out on Tuesday, I think. If you have Game Pass, it's included in Game Pass, so you can try it out there. Made by Obsidian, who made Outer Wilds. Nope, not Outer Wilds, sorry. The Outer Worlds, and Fallout New Vegas. And I feel like a couple other things that are spacing me, but yeah, those are probably the big ones. As far as board games are concerned, same thing as last week, so I'll just really briefly mention this. I don't even know if we need to go to the screen. Dice Throne Missions. I did finally get the tracking email. It is on its way from New York. It's, I think, in Ohio right now, so I should have it. They said Friday or Saturday. Well, they said Friday first. Now it says Saturday, so I'm not sure. This weekend, though, I should have Marvel Dice Throne Missions. Excited to unbox that and play a couple solo matches of it. Maybe Devin and I will play a round of it next week and just see if it's a good vibe or not. It's again, I just talked about Defenders of the Wild. It is a cooperative game, you know, and I don't know. I like friendly competition in my games. I'm not like the most competitive person in the world. I don't even care if I win usually. But I do think the fact that I'm competing with somebody elevates something a little bit. I don't know. In a video game, it feels a little bit different because I feel like the AI you're playing against seems a little more dynamic than like the rule set of a board game kind of can. Maybe I'm getting too in the weeds with that, but we'll see. Marvel Dice Throne Missions on Saturday. Okay, Devin, that's going to bring us to the news mini nuke. It's going to be a little bit more beefy of a nuke today.
It's a beefy nuke.
A news beefy nuke. First up, hopping back up to the screen, we have just this tweet from PlayStation. Devin, I don't know if you tried to play your PlayStation last Friday, but if you did, PlayStation Network was down for a whole day.
I was at home, and our younger brother comes up to me and he goes, "Can you fix something?" I was like, "Oh no." And I go out and he's like, "Every time I try to log in, it's like it forgot my information and an error occurs." I was like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And within 5 minutes on social media, there were a bunch of posts about it. And I just went out and told him, PlayStation's down.
Yeah.
Took the burden off of me, so.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah, a lot of people were posting about it. It was back up about 24 hours later on Saturday. That is a bummer day for it to go down just on Friday night, because that's when, like, you know, everybody's off of work for the weekend. So I imagine that's one of the more popular times to play. They are crediting all PlayStation Plus members with an extra 5 days of service because of the outage. But anyways, thought I would at least mention that because that was kind of one of the bigger deals this weekend. All right, Devin. The only other news item we have in video games is Sony had a PlayStation State of Play today.
I always loved these.
Yeah, they're a little hit or miss. Sometimes they're a bunch of nothing. Sometimes they're okay. This one,
I feel like you're hinting that this was a bunch of nothing.
Oh, we'll see.
Oh, we will see.
Yeah.
I actually didn't watch this, so this is news to me as well. Okay,
cool. Well, we're going to just kind of quickly go through. If you could go back to the document just so I can see the highlights while we go through. There's quite a few things in here. It's 45 minutes long. So you have a lot of updates. Some things I'll just gloss over really quickly, like this. They had a new trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds. This took like the first 5 minutes. So they also said they're going to have a free update in the spring and summer. And with a new monster on each one, which makes sense for them to put new monsters in a game called Monster Hunter.
Yes, it does.
Next up, I thought this next one looked super awesome. I've never played a game in this series called Shinobi. This one is a 2D game called Shinobi Art of Vengeance, and it is out in August. And man, it looks pretty. I love that art style. Super cool. It looks like a kind of a 2D hack and slash ninja game. Kind of gives you like Ninja Gaiden kind of vibes and stuff like that. So again, I haven't played a Shinobi game. I know there were a lot of them back on whatever that was, the Super Nintendo or something. But love this cool art style. And 2D games are basically all I play anymore, it seems like. So
yeah, there's something simple and nice about a 2D game.
Yeah. It goes back to a younger time and there were less worries. But in this game, there are a lot of ninjas. So
a lot of worries.
Next up was, I guess I'm controlling the mouse, so I've got to get to the spot here. We got Sonic Racing. I've played a couple of these in the past, actually, on the PlayStation 3. They're very fun.
Really? I've never played a Sonic Racing game.
Quite as good as like Mario Kart, but
what about Crash Team Racing? Are they as good as Crash?
I don't think so, but I think Crash Team Racing is probably
Are they better than Hot Wheels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I really liked the couple I've played. My kids are really into Sonic right now as well, and so if this is good, I can imagine them playing this a bunch. So we'll see. Has a cool thing there where you go through Sonic's rings and they kind of like teleport you to a different area of track. Like that section of track was on a dinosaur's back. And so I think it's called Cross Worlds, where you're like hopping back and forth between worlds. And they've done this for like the last few games, but they have car sections, airplane sections, and boat sections. I think it's one of their differentiators a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see. They've got a pretty good track record. So I hope that one's great. That one's out on, doesn't say, but they have a network test on the 21st if you want to try it out, I guess. So that's just a Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Definitely one that I've got my eye on. All right, what was next here?
The best one that's on the list.
Oh, maybe. This one is, I couldn't tell exactly what kind of JRPG this was going to be from this intro segment here. But then somebody said in like a really crazy voice something about Digimon, I think. And I was like, oh, it's a Digimon game. And so this one is Digimon Storytime Stranger, coming out this year in 2025. I've never played a Digimon video game, I don't think, but I did like it growing up. It was like the cooler, edgier older brother to Pokemon.
I told a friend that this week. I said Digimon is cooler than Pokemon. Changed my mind, and he said, "I don't know what that is."
I don't know what that is. That's funny. Yeah, I do feel like they're kind of crazy. Like some of the Digimon just straight up have like missiles and cannons and guns on them. But it's kind of silly in that way. Do you remember that guy?
Same.
I don't remember any of their names though.
No, me neither.
Yeah, they're just a Digimon.
It's probably way dumber than Pokemon. I just wanted to like be cool.
Yeah, it might be, but you know, who knows? All right, next up was
Lost
Soul Aside. If I can get there, this guy talked for a second, and I can't remember. I do think this one looks pretty cool though. It's coming out on May 30th of 2025. Kind of gave me Final Fantasy 16 vibes a little bit. You got the big monsters. You got the guys and gals that are all like extremely thin and pretty. You know, just like normal everyday life. You know, fight the dragon, look like $1 million.
That's what I do every day.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know a ton about this one, but that's Lost Soul Aside. I think it's had a few trailers before this. If you want a longer look, there you go. I do like the landscapes they got there, though. Very cool sci-fi kind of vibe. You have this weird, like, sci-fi robot dragon companion with you, too. Again, I have no idea what's going on in that story, but there you go. That's Lost Soul Aside. Then they showed a little segment from Yakuza Like a Dragon. Whoops, I went a little too far. And this one's actually Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which has like pirate ship combat. I know some people have been pretty excited about that one. So just a new look at that. And then some of the characters from that game are going to be in Dave the Diver, which seems to get crossovers with so many games. Kind of funny, though. I want to get back to Dave the Diver, mostly because I want to try the Godzilla crossover that I have. But anyways, that's Like a Dragon. Next up, they showed a little bit of Split Gate 2, which is right about... Oh, no, I missed one. Did I not type this in here? I swear I did. I must have deleted it. Or no, I just jumped too far. Where are you, Splitgate?
Is this a WWE game?
The next one is, yeah. Here's Splitgate 2. It has a cool new mode, they said, that is 24 players with 3 different teams. So 3 8-player teams. Kind of cool. I always thought Splitgate was really awesome, mostly because I loved Halo multiplayer growing up. And it feels very much the same, just mixed with teleporting through portals. WWE 2K25 got a little trailer. They're adding a new, what would you call that? Like a new section to the game called the Island. And it's kind of similar to like the park in NBA 2K, where they have this online multiplayer like central hub where everyone can go to like show off their gear or to wrestle each other, playing some like tournaments, just kind of like a way for them to sell you more microtransactions with clothes you want to show off to your buddies. But
I love it.
Yeah, kind of a funny vibe though. WWE 2K25. All right, Devin, next one is probably a big one for you, but unfortunately there's not a ton of news here. But they did show the 2 Randys from Gearbox here showed a new trailer for Borderlands 4. It does look cool. It's looks more violent than I remember the last ones being, or maybe the blood is just like a brighter red. I couldn't tell, but the last ones aren't not violent. Looks cool.
We're watching this in a pretty high resolution, which is nice, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like maybe graphical updates. The graphics looked pretty.
Yeah, they did.
In those few little scenes.
Yeah, I think it looks a bit sharper and better than
Battlefield
3. Not Battlefield. Borderlands 3. They said 2 more things about it. Borderlands 4 is getting its own state of play in later in the spring. So it'll get its own like 20-30 minute deep dive.
Awesome.
And it comes out September 23rd. So they gave a release date, which is probably a good date. It'll be safely probably out of Grand Theft Auto 6's way in September. So it's probably an okay date for them. Then there was a new trailer for Split Fiction, the next game from the company that made It Takes Two. I think this game looks fun. I've never finished It Takes Two, though. I've only played a very tiny bit. I do want to get back to it, though. My kids would like it. The story might be a little sad for them about divorcing parents, but but I don't know. I could maybe get past that hurdle. But yeah, I think Split Fiction looks cool. It comes out on March 6th. And I think it's $50, but it has that cool thing where if you buy a copy, you can your friend can play with you. Very cool. Almost no companies do that. Which is probably why they had to price it at $50. Because what if they price it at 25 or 30? And then both people had to buy it. They're probably less. This probably does better at $50, I would imagine.
I hope it has $50 worth of content and it's not like a 6-hour long game.
Yeah, It Takes Two wasn't super long, was it? Would you say 6 to 8?
I feel like I got some time in that game, but I can't remember how many hours that took.
Yeah. I don't know for sure. Next up is a cool one. This is from Supermassive Games, who does the Dark Pictures anthology. This is the next game in that series. And in very cool fashion, at least for me, it's in space. This is a sci-fi
I also like that
horror game from them. It's called Directive 8020. Has some big actors, at least her I recognize, the main lady there. I feel like I recognized at least one or two of the others as well. This one comes out October 2nd, which they've kind of got that early October nailed down for their annual kind of releases here on this Dark Pictures anthology. So I hope this one's great. I don't know that I love how their games play.
I don't either, but I have enjoyed playing their games because of the genre.
Exactly. You are kind of like, I'll put up with this.
Yeah, it's like psychological horror, weird. But the thing for me that bothers me is I would have to play the game through 6 times or so to see every cutscene they've made for the game.
Exactly. They're even highlighting it here. Life and death takes many forms. And then they show like almost every character dying in a different way. And I'm like, I don't have the time to play it 7 times. You know?
No.
And usually to get like the platinum trophy even, you have to see most of the endings. And so it's even hard from like a trophy hunter's perspective to want to play through it that many times. I don't know. I don't know what the right solution is there, because I think that's cool in theory. Like, you can play our game 10 times and it's always slightly different because different characters will live. Like, yeah, but I don't want to watch it that many times.
Yeah, maybe not different enough for me.
Yeah, it'd have to be vastly different. So I don't know.
It looks cool, though. I really
cool.
like the aesthetic of that game compared to many of the other ones.
I agree. Okay, next up is a new game in the Five Nights at Freddy's series that seems to have an infinite number of games. This one's coming to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation VR 2. It's called Secrets of the Mimic on March 13th. I imagine that's a little scary, at least in VR. Maybe we should try that out.
We should, yeah.
I've never played a Five Nights at Freddy's, but it has spawned quite a few clones, like that Poppy's Playtime and other things that definitely got their ideas from this. And man, I feel like this game series has had way more legs than I thought it would, because most of these horror games that like kind of like had a little splash, I feel like they had their splash and then kind of go away. This one has had like 15 games. And my kids even come home sometimes and are like, Dad, can we play Five Nights at Freddy's? I'm like, where'd you even hear about this? I don't. And they're like 6 and 8. So I don't even know how. It just seems to be more prevalent than I realized. But anyways, that's Five Nights at Freddy's, Secrets of the Mimic. Another trailer for a cool looking game that's made completely in, what do they call it? Clay stop motion? Clay art models? Wallace and Gromit kind of thing. This one is called The Midnight Walk, and it comes to PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2 on May 8th. I think we already knew those details, but they did have a new trailer here, and I like the vibe. I think you're like protecting this little candle dude, and he has like the only fire left in the world for some reason, and you're trying to help him like spread the fire and to bring light back to the world, and also avoid some creepy little monsters. Kind of looks Tim Burton-esque in my opinion. So I don't know. I hope this one's cool. I'm nervous with a VR game sometimes where like a game like this can play on both. I'm like, okay, if it can play on both, I feel like the VR experience, since you didn't like hyper focus on that,
won't be as good.
Won't be like as focused on that.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll be able to pull it off. I think it looks cool. I like the vibe at least. Okay, next up, maybe David's game. Well, not David's game of the show because of a couple others, but this next one looks very cool. They said a new game from Konami. And we're like, okay, cool. What's it going to be? And it's called Darwin's Paradox. And you play as this cool little blue octopus. Excuse me, I had to cough for a second. But I think you're just basically trying to escape this facility as this octopus, kind of like Finding Dory style. And you can camouflage and use your ink and other things, and you're trying to escape. It very much looks like Inside.
Yeah.
Mixed with playing as an octopus.
It looked cool, the way the octopus moves.
Love it. So I'm very excited about that one. That one, did it have a date? Just this year. Next up were a couple games that I don't know a lot about. Warriors Abyss is a roguelite spin on the Warriors series, which I've never played. And then two Onimusha things. The Onimusha 2 remaster is coming out on May 23rd. And then they showed a new trailer for Onimusha Way of the Sword, which is a brand new game in this Onimusha series that comes out next year in 2026. You can definitely tell that one looks a little old, Onimusha 2. But the new one definitely looks better. But the faces the character makes, and like he likes to crack jokes and kind of make weird faces on the screen. It was kind of a little strange looking. Let's see your best then, eh? I don't know. Kind of a weird looking fella. Okay. Then there was a new trailer for the remake of Metal Gear Solid. I think it's 3. And they're calling this one Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. They also gave a release date for it. It's August 28th. This is a series I've always wanted to get into, but have never done for some reason. I think that it has a really cool vibe, and the villains are like very out there and strange. And, Big Boss, Snake or whatever. Looks really cool, but I don't know like anything about the series. Do you, Devin?
I don't know. I've always wondered, since I haven't dabbled in this, if it's way better than like Splinter Cell.
I think it's more campy and fictional. Like Splinter Cell's trying to be like realistic, where this is
okay.
What if a Navy SEAL was fighting against like really weird villains?
Like something from Resident Evil?
I feel like almost sometimes.
Okay.
Again, I don't fully know, but anyways, I would like to try this series out at some point. I think they just had the Metal Gear Solid Collection come out last year that has, I think, 1, 2, and 3 in it. They're like upscaled remasters of those games, and then this one is a full remake of 3, which I think technically is the first one chronologically, which is probably why they're doing that one first. But anyways, August 28th, that is a big game. There's also an Ape Escape reference in there for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe there was a Ape Escape monkey in Metal Gear Solid 3. I'm not sure.
They're both in that one game.
In
the platformer.
Astrobot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, what was next? We had, this one is called Hell Is Us, and it looks very, very pretty. I think it's had a couple trailers as well, but it did get a release date. The release date is September 4th. A lot of games shooting for September or earlier. again, just trying to stay out of GTA's way. I thought this was Death Stranding 2, which I'm pretty sure I said the first time I saw a trailer for this game, because similar kind of coat he's wearing with a robot floating up there. But it's not. This one's called Hell Is Us. I don't even know if I remember seeing any combat or gameplay in here. Oh, there we go. There was a sword. So maybe it looks like Death Stranding, but plays a little bit like a God of War or a Souls-like in a way. I love the sci-fi creepy vibe, though. So Hell Is Us, September 4th. Devin, next one is probably going to be your game of the show.
Ooh, yes, it might be.
NeoWiz finally showed their upcoming expansion to Lies of P. This expansion is called Overture, and it's coming out this summer. I think summer usually means like June to August, somewhere in there ish. So you got to wait a little bit, but maybe the game will come on sale, a significant sale by that point, so I can buy it on PlayStation, because I think you played it on the Game Pass or something. So I don't think.
Oh, right, yes. So you've never actually played this?
I've only played it on my Rogue Ally and probably got like 5 bosses in or so. But
it's fantastic.
Yeah. And I thought this expansion trailer looked pretty cool. Again, it's very campy. He's about to shoot like this giant shark thing. But cool vibe. I know you really loved it.
I did, yeah. I was surprised a different game maker could do this type of game even close to as good as like FromSoft, but they killed it.
Yeah. Very excited about that one. I hope they, I imagine they're all just working on that, and their sequel's probably quite a ways off, but kind of wish that they had just gone with number 2, but I don't know. Next up was a game from Pixel Junk, which is kind of crazy. I don't think they've made one in a while. They did Pixel Junk Shooter, Pixel Junk Monsters, and I think a few other ones. This one is very weird. It is called Dreams of Another. And in this game, you're destroying chaos in order to spawn like organized life, is I think like kind of the vibe. So he has a gun at this point, and he's shooting these like chaos orbs in the air, and it kind of turns them into more organized structure. You're not always shooting the gun, I don't think. It shows it in quite a few different scenarios here, but very unique, at least vibe and art style in this one. No creation without destruction. It's kind of the vibe. So anyways, you can check more out about that. That one's coming out this year. Next up is one I was very surprised about, because this game already plays at 4K 60 if you play the PlayStation 4 version. But this is, if I can get there, Days Gone. It's getting a remastered PlayStation 5 version. It does have some new content, which is kind of cool. It has a speedrun mode, a permadeath mode, and a mode they're calling Horde Assault, that I think just throws like more and larger hordes at you, which the hordes in that game do seem very cool. I've yet to play it, though. I know that our cousin enjoyed it quite a bit. So, kind of cool, I guess, if you haven't played it. If you do have a PlayStation 4 version, you can upgrade for $10, which I'm glad they do that. But it does seem like, did we need that? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're lucky they added extra content and game modes, because if it was just an upgrade from 4K 60 to 4K 120, most people aren't benefiting from that.
Right. Exactly. Again, because if you have a PlayStation 5 and play the PlayStation 4 version, you're already getting 4K 60. So it's kind of crazy. Luckily, we missed most of this, but Stellar Blade's getting some DLC in June, so there you go. And then they announced the PlayStation Plus catalog games that we already talked about earlier. So I'm going to skip those, other than 2. They mentioned 2 games that are going to be coming to the catalog on day 1. The first one called Blueprints. And I think it is this one. Yeah. I think so. Or is this the other? Yeah, this is Blueprints. And it's coming to the catalog in spring 2025. There's like all these rooms in this mansion, and it's kind of a puzzle game. And then this other one in the summer is a 6-player crafting survival game called abiotic factor. And I already said 6 players, so it's meant for multiplayer kind of. I kind of like survival games in co-op. Can kind of be fun, Risk of Rain and stuff like that is enjoyable. So maybe that'll be a good one. We'll see. Okay, just a few more things here. These next 3, I don't know much about, but they have new trailers. The first one is called Tides of Annihilation. And it looks very pretty. I believe this developer Eclipse Glow is in China, so this is part of Sony's China project, or what do they call it? China Hero project, I think. The game looks very pretty.
Truly.
With some odd imagery. This is like a big Leviathan with a city on top of it coming out of the
Did you
water.
see how good that water looked?
It looks crazy.
Holy.
Yeah, it looks very, very pretty. I can't tell what kind of game it is fully, but there are parts where you like climb in. I think in the press release they mentioned that like you have to scale like some of these giant creatures vertically, which is a cool thing, Shadow of the Colossus, but that way bigger. And then here it does have some like action combat. Kind of looks like Devil May Cry or something fast. So I like the aesthetic. Very odd, but looks cool. Kind of does give me like Wukong vibes. Just, I mean, not a ton, but a little bit. Not really. There's no monkeys. I don't know. That's Tides of Annihilation. That one didn't even have a year, I don't believe. But does have a cool trailer. Okay, and then next up is one called Metal Eden. And I think this is it here. It comes out on May 6th. So it's pretty imminent, to be honest. And it's a fast-paced first-person shooter. If they first started pulling it up, I was like, is this Marathon? Because it looked so like sci-fi kind of pretty, kind of like Bungie's first Marathon trailer did, but it's not. It's called Metal Eden. And really, I don't know much else about it, but at least the gameplay there kind of looks like Doom or something in a way. But I like the sci-fi vibe. Don't really have much else to say about it, though. May 6th, if you're interested in that one. And then next up, second to last, is a game called Mind's Eye. And I think that a producer from the Grand Theft Auto series left and joined this team and is making this game. I think the main actor, or maybe even a few of the characters you see here, are like actors in TV and movies as well, which does seem to be more common nowadays. But looks pretty cool. The motion capture and graphics look very good. But again, I don't know really a ton else about it. They do show like some gunplay, some like cover-based gunplay where you're hiding behind like a pillar or like a cement pavilion kind of thing. And then they show some driving, which definitely made it kind of feel like it's got Grand Theft Auto vibes, but I don't know if it's fully open world or whatnot. But anyways, that is Mind's Eye, and it says summer of 2025. Again, cool vibe. Got those iRobot dudes just kind of following you, which would be creepy. So, anyways, that's Mind's Eye. Then last up, game of the show for David. We start on the PlayStation Studios logo. I'm like, oh boy, they got a stinger for the end. How exciting. And I wasn't sure what it was going to be. And I'm slow to get there, but there is this sci-fi looking planet. A dude wakes up there, and then the sun slowly starts to collapse. You're like, oh no, that's not good. And then this big demon looking thing comes out of the water. It has more arms than it's supposed to. Stands up really tall. Looking like, oh crap, I'm going to have to fight this thing. Luckily, I've got a gun right here. And then the camera zooms in really close on his eyeball. And you see the bullet hell. And I love that so much. This is a game called Severance, I think is how it's pronounced. and it's the next game from Housemarque as kind of a semi-sequel to Returnal.
Wow.
Comes out next year in 2026. I wish it was this year, but it is not. The guy that does that is that character, I think, is in Midnight Mass. Is the sheriff. I think, if I'm getting my actors correct. But anyways, that was a pretty quick run through, Devin, of the state of play there. But I think for me, game of the show there is Severance, or there were a couple more I thought looked cool, like the Shinobi, like ninja 2D game that looked very cool. And then Darwin's Paradox with the octopus. So those are probably mine. Any that stood out to you, Devin?
Digimon.
Devin's going
No.
back to
No. Borderlands 4.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's has always intrigued me. Also, I'm in the same boat with you with Metal Gear Solid. I would like to dabble a little bit.
Yeah. That's cool. I wish that 1 and 2 also had those remakes done, because that third remake looks really nice.
Yeah, it'd be hard for me not to just start on the remake and pretend like I know.
I think that's what they want you to do.
That's perfect.
Because
that's
it's
what I'll do.
Chronologically first, I think. But
yeah, Liza P.
Oh yeah.
Stellar Blade was fun, but come on.
Yeah, come on is the right.
And then Severance. Is that what you called it?
I think so.
Severance.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, well, that is it for video game news this week. Devin, thanks for watching State of Play with me. We kind of scrubbed through it quickly. But, a couple little tidbits of board game news. Screen just went black, so hopefully that comes back. Here we go. The two biggest board game companies that do, I guess not board game companies, companies that facilitate crowdfunding of board games are definitely Kickstarter and GameFound, which GameFound just started doing their own projects in 2022. But before that, they had acted just as like a pledge manager, kind of the behind the scenes for some projects. They are both making moves. They want to continue to either be the biggest for Kickstarter or grow if you're GameFound. GameFound said here, our ambition for 2025 is to be #1 in tabletop. I think Kickstarter had like $220 million raised for board game projects, and GameFound had like 85 last year. So, I mean, they're not doing too shabby. And I think the other link, unless I give you two of the same links, Devin, which I may have.
Oh, I sent you two of the same on accident. Here's the correct one.
Cool. Kickstarter, in trying to add new features that GameFound has, says they are going to be adding the ability to manage pledges, which is really cool because a lot of them take your money on Kickstarter and then you have to use a different platform in order to manage your shipping and pledges and address and stuff. So that'll be nice. And then something that GameFound definitely has an advantage is they let you pay in segments. So if it's a $200 game, you can pay it over, 6 months or whatever they do.
That is big. That's why I bought my computer.
Yeah, payment plans, they get more people to buy, for sure. So Kickstarter adding those, they want to stay the king there too. So we got to give a shout out there to Board Game Wire. They did the reporting on both of those things, but I thought those were interesting tidbits here about the crowdfunding category of board games. All right, Devin, that is going to bring us to Crowdfunding Corner for Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Oh, yeah.
2025. So make sure you watch this video before you go on your hot date. There's, I think, 6 projects this week that I wanted to give a shout out that end in like the next 7 to 15-ish days. Some of them on Kickstarter and a couple, I think, on GameFound. So first up here, this one is called The Treasure Ship of Zhang He. Returns, I think. This game was a lot of this page is in Japanese, so I'm not 100% sure on some of it, but it does say returns there. This game is designed by Hisashi Hayashi, and I have 2 of his games. One of them I haven't played yet, and the other one I really like. Yokohama, I just got like a month ago. Haven't played that one yet. It's supposed to be excellent. And then Bomb Busters, I just got probably 6 months ago, and I have played that a couple times. It's really excellent. So he's a very well-known designer in this game. The cool kind of mechanism that it has is, let me see if I go to, I'm already on how to play, is I think shared workers, if I'm remembering the correct one. I think that is what it was. No, actually I don't. I think that was a different game. In this one, you're putting down a worker in the first phase of the game to like determine who will be in charge of the certain leg of the voyage and like which direction a ship is going to go. And then if you're able to get higher priority, you're able to make some of those decisions. If you didn't, then you're still going to go along for the voyage, but you don't get to make kind of those voyage decisions. But regardless, you can do stuff at those locations, get animals, goods, and then you are using those polyomino-shaped pieces in order to fill in your player board, which I swear there was a picture of right here. Where is it? Did I miss the player board? I swear I saw the boards. We've got the, player board's right here. It's a little hard to see, but you can see the grid system there. You're trying to pack in all of your stuff in your ships so that you can carry it all. Interesting idea. Little tricky sometimes to get these games to America just because shipping can be crazy expensive. But that one, especially because of Mr. Hayashi, wanted to give a shout out to. So that is the treasure ship of Zhang He returns on Kickstarter for 7 more days until Thursday, February 20th. Next up is a smaller game called Orthognomes, and this one just looked unique, and I thought it looked cool. It's kind of like Connect 4. If you made Connect 4 3D and put it on a Lazy Susan.
A Lazy Susan?
Yeah, that's generally the name for like that disc-shaped thing that spins.
Oh, it's like a spinning coaster. A
spinning, bigger thing. I think Lazy Susan is usually used for like a cabinet that has that inside of it, where you can like store your toaster or whatever. But yeah, in this game, very short, I think 2-player game, where you are placing pieces onto that Lazy Susan, and then you can twist it and look at it from the 4 different directions or the top. And if you're ever able to get 4 in a row in any orientation, then you score a point. And I'm unsure how many points it takes to win. I couldn't find that in the rules here, but it might just be a point wins. It did say you get a point. Yeah, score a point in 1 move. So, kind of a cool idea. Have a little Lazy Susan.
Yeah, I like that.
Again, I think this one is from Japan, so I think it's a little expensive to ship to America, but $26 for the basic version of the game that has like a plastic Lazy Susan, and $36 for the deluxe version that has a wooden Lazy Susan. So there you go. That's Orthognomes, and it is, I think, also on Kickstarter until the 20th, next Thursday. Correct. Okay, third up for us, another kind of smaller project that I thought had a cool vibe. This one's called Chlor, I think. But down in the page, someone uses that word instead of color.
I almost just did.
And so I wonder if they pronounce it color. And there's also some colors in that O. So you can call it color or chlor. Whatever. In this game, very simple. You are placing a polyomino kind of on top of a section on this grid, and that will remove some demons from the board, basically the top tile. And then it will also let you put a dragon egg on a tile if you can. And you're trying to put certain colors of dragon eggs out and have more of certain colors of tiles. And when you remove the top tile from a spot, there's also a tile underneath, so you can kind of see them stacked on top of each other there. So, doesn't seem like a very hard game. You're kind of manipulating the shapes in order to get the tiles you want in smart ways, and controlling more of the colors and getting the colors of eggs that you want out there. So, very simple game, but I like the way it looks, and that seems like it could be a pretty fun kind of spatial puzzle, especially when it's against like another person. A couple different versions, normal and deluxe there too. That is, how are we saying it, Devin? Chlor or color? I think I like color.
Color.
Yeah, with that little dash before the K, it's like color. How do you like that?
It was very nice. I'd buy it now.
Cool. That one's also on Kickstarter for one more week until Thursday the 20th. Okay, next is a game called Vineyard, a winemaking game. This game was made by Pencil First Games, and they make great games. You can see they've created 21 on here. I'm a little surprised this one doesn't have more backers at this point. Maybe it just went live, and I'm not sure. But in this game, this is the one that had shared workers, so I was getting a little confused between projects, which sounds kind of cool. In a lot of worker placement games, I have my 3 workers, and on a turn, I'll place them somewhere on a board, and then you have your 3, and you'll place yours somewhere on a board. In this, the workers don't belong to anyone. They're just on the board. And then everyone plays cards in order to manipulate where they move to, what they do. And so you're trying to make sure that the right person is in the right spot when you need them to be, and also like kind of piggybacking off of other people's moves a little bit. I should have explained that while I left like a picture of the board on the screen instead of text, but you're moving those characters around to different sections to make wine, to do what's that called? Paperwork? I think that's what that says. Age the wine, and you eventually will ship it. Oh, that says load. Couldn't tell what that said. So pretty simple game, but I like that idea of, hey, there's these shared workers out there, and Devin, if you move them to the space I want them to be, then that's great. Great for me. So that is...
So I could unintentionally help you out.
Yeah, so I'd probably be watching you a bit more than in some games to see like, oh, I think Devin's going to do this next. And if that's good for me, I'm going to plan to do something else on my turn, knowing that I can piggyback off of it.
I like that strategy.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Kind of cool. So a little more interactive, I think, in that way. Has a cool tray as well, store everything in there. So anyways, Pencil First, they make good stuff. So I hope this one is good too. That is Vineyard, a winemaking game, on Kickstarter until Tuesday, February 25th. Next is a game called Bark Avenue. When I saw the picture of this one, I was like, oh man, is this like one of those AI-made dog games? And I'm really glad I didn't skip over it, because I almost did. But this game is not that. This one looks really cool. And there's, I think, a Kings and Queens expansion here for, because I think this game came out like a year ago or something. But I guess just as a slight side note, this game is made by Terradice Games, and they have their own board game YouTube channel. They're like a husband and wife, I think, and they designed this game too. So props to them. That's really cool. I don't know how you find the time, because I'm like trying to make a single YouTube video a week and also like keep my job, and I can't do it. So props to you guys. But this game, again, just looking at the cover, I was like, I am not interested in this. But then getting into it, man, I think it looks really cool. You are playing as a dog walker, which I guess is a big thing in like New York and big cities, where people will pay you to take their dogs for a walk.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so you might have multiple dogs with you at the same time. Oh, and what's this? I didn't even notice this. On the deluxe edition, you get little squishy poops.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we need that meeple. And then from that other game, there was that milk meeple.
There was.
I need both of those on like a necklace.
There you go. It's the top board game piece necklace. Anyways, but there are different dog cards, and you can pick up different dogs. I'm trying to show you the main board because it I think will help me explain this a little bit better. Where is the main board? Learn. Here we go. Nope. There's nothing there. I swear I saw a picture of the game board. Maybe it was up here. Yeah, it's kind of here. You have your little dog walker, and there's all these different neighborhoods on this map. It's kind of a map of New York. I think that's supposed to be Central Park there in the middle. And so on your turn, you roll a die and something will happen. One of those things might be your dog poops that you're walking, or you got him a treat, stop to get like yourself a coffee or something. And then you move. Your movement is limited to of the dogs that you're currently walking, whichever one has the lowest distance number. It's kind of a clever mechanism as well. And then every turn that you are walking your dogs, I want to show, oh, here's the board. You get to move their walk meter up. And each dog needs to be walked a certain amount. So Carly here, the left dog, needs to be walked for 5 turns. But Lady Bum only needs 4. And then they have to be dropped back off at a certain neighborhood. So this is kind of like a pick up and deliver game. You're picking up dogs. You need to walk them around for a certain number of time and then deliver them back to their owners. If you do, they'll pay you that amount, $20 for that walk. If you can get them also to complete like their bonus things here, like using the restroom or playing fetch or taking a picture, then you'll get a tip as well. When you get, this is, again, I really like this. The idea of this system, at least, I've never played the game, but Carly here needs to get to spot 5 once. You've walked her 5 turns. That paw token flips over to a house token, and then the icon goes backwards the rest of the time, and you have 5 turns to get them home, or else you're late, and you won't get a tip.
Wow.
Kind of clever that it, just kind of bounces back and forth. And then certain dogs don't like being with other dogs if they're not compatible, like based on size or temperament, I guess. So again, just by looking at the cover, I was like, woof, I don't think I'm interested in this game, even though I love dogs.
You just said woof.
did that on purpose, not. Just because I've seen so many other board games based on dogs on Kickstarter that definitely didn't seem fun to play and seemed like they were just using AI for their art and weren't great. This one seems really cool, in my opinion.
Stay on that picture for just a second. I like how the inserts seem multi-use. It looks like the heart pieces you could rotate to the right to make it fit that way or straight up. Why does it have the extra bubble? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I wonder if it just makes it easier for you to grab out.
Oh, maybe so.
That
maybe
might
so.
Be it.
Yeah, that is what that is.
Or it might need to turn. I'm not sure. But yeah.
Forget everything I just said, honestly.
No, it is cool. I think it looks cool. I like the usability of the board. It has like your turn structure on the bottom left there. You roll the die, move, take some actions, and then whatever that 4th one is, move the track probably. So anyways, that is Bark Avenue, and I think this new expansion for it, Kings and Queens. It's on Kickstarter until the 27th. And I think we have one more. Is that right?
One more on GameFound.
Right, yeah, this one's not on Kickstarter. This is a pretty popular game. It has a lot of different, I don't know if a lot's the right word. It has a few different versions. I think Bullet Heart is one, and Bullet Plus, or some things. And so this is a new set of versions, I think, called Bullet Cubed. Yeah, has new expansions and a giant storage box, if you really like Bullet. So I like the cool kind of anime vibe Bullet has. You can see there the Dice Tower liked it. They gave it a seal of excellence. And again, it has a cool vibe. In this game, based on the version you're playing, you'll have different characters, I think, and there are different ways to play. It kind of reminds me of Dice Throne in that way, where
I almost said that when I saw the characters.
Yeah, the characters are different, and you might be playing like Bullet Star or Bullet Heart and have different characters, but you can always play like solo or one-on-one or in teams, and I think they even break down all of the ways that you can play here. Here's those 2 new expansions and the giant box if you want to store all of your Bullet stuff in it. Where is it? I swear Yeah, here's the modes. They have free for all, teams, score attack, and boss rush. And I've heard it's really good solo. In this game, you are playing these like cards, and it kind of reminds me of like Tetris mixed with. There was that game that we had called like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Green Bean Machine. If you remember that one, it's basically kind of like Tetris, but the pieces come in like twos, and they're two balls like bubbled together, and like one would be one color and the other would be another color. And if you get groups of four, then they would pop and then slide down. This is a similar vibe where these things are coming down these tracks at you, and if you're able to play cards to get rid of them, it says you clear bullets off of your board and send them to your opponent, which was kind of the thing in Dr. Robotnik's Mean Green Bean Machine, or whatever that game was called. Was the better you're doing, you're like dumping extra pieces on the other player. So, kind of has a different gameplay style than you might think based on what it looks like originally, but I've heard it's really great. I've never played Bullet yet, though, but wanted to give it a shout out for being very unique in the board game space in my mind. And they have lots of stuff here. You can get just the new stuff, the original Bullet Heart, or everything, or really everything if you're really feeling it. So, anyways, that is Bullet Cubed. New expansions and the giant storage box. It's on GameFound until the 27th of February. All right, Devin, those are our 6 projects for the week. Which of those is going to be your pick for Valentine's Day?
For Valentine, I mean, I feel like it fits for some reason. Dog walking just kind of fits Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it kind of
way.
does.
I'm gonna choose Bark Avenue.
Cool.
It looked creative and funny. If I had to choose a second one, I would maybe choose the 3D Connect 4 with the Lazy Susan.
Yeah, I think those are definitely unique ones. Let me go back to the list because I'm not sure exactly what I want my pick of the week to be. Because I was flirting with Bark Avenue as well, just because I think it looks unique. You know what? I think I'm going to. This will be our first week where we've both had the same pick of the week.
Oh, wow.
I do think some of the others look good. Bullet looks cool. Vineyard. You know what? No, I'll change my mind. I'll go with Vineyard. Since you went with Bark Avenue, throw me Vineyard. I feel like it deserves some love. I like the idea of the shared workers and really paying more attention to your opponents than you sometimes do in a worker placement game. And I really like pencil first games. So want this one to get a little more buzz, and since probably like 2 or 3 million people will watch this video, that should help a little bit. So anyways, a winemaking game, Vineyard, a winemaking game is going to be my pick of the week for Valentine's Day. And that's going to do it for Crowdfunding Corner for February 14th, 2025. See you next week for episode 47. All right, Devin, we've got 2 more things we're going to do here. In our closing segment of the podcast, we have 1 question from a write-in. Just a reminder, if you go to our Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers, you can write into the show. We can answer your questions, read your comments on the air. I'm not saying we'll read all of them, but you can write in if you support us over there. So really appreciate the listener here. Alex wrote in and had a good question that I think I came up with a couple good answers for. We'll see if they are actually any good. But let's read his question first. Devin, how about I'll give you the honors.
Oh, I got this.
Read his question.
From Alex A. I recently bought a gaming PC, have an Xbox with Game Pass, and a Switch. I'm looking for cross-platform games we can play together at the house. We have had a blast playing Fall Guys recently. He is on the Xbox and I play on the PC. Each of us is signed into a different Epic Games account. Any other cross-platform kid-friendly game recommendations would be amazing. Thanks for the great podcast and happy gaming.
Cool. Thanks, Alex. This is a good question. I play games with my kids pretty often, but it's not usually across platforms, which does make the question trickier.
It does, yeah.
I did think of a few though. I know you mentioned Fall Guys, which my kids have liked that as well. It's a very comical game. You get hit by a beam, you fly off the screen. It's fun. Other similar games that I played with my kids, I've played Minecraft with them, which I do believe you can play across platforms. You might not be able to play across from Switch to PC, but I think you could play from PC to Xbox, if I'm not mistaken. And the other 4 I have written down here, I did double check. I'm very confident that you can. Overcooked, I feel like is a good one. You'd have to make sure that, I don't know if I would be the right person to play Overcooked with my kids because I would be very mad at them the whole time. That game is fun, but I find it hard not to get mad at the people I'm playing with. Or I'm not very good at either, or like I can feel them getting mad at me.
Yes.
Because it's hard. You have to coordinate very well. But if you can just go in knowing like, hey, we're going to mess up, the kitchen's going to be on fire all the time, but we're going to laugh and have fun. That's a good one. I think only the newest version, the all-you-can-eat version, does have that cross-platform play, though. So look out for that. 2 others before I give you my favorite of the list here, I think would be Hot Wheels Unleashed is a pretty fun racing game. You can build your own tracks with like cool Hot Wheel sets with like dragons and spiders and all kinds of stuff. And then the racing is actually pretty fun too. It's pretty arcadey. You can drift around corners and save up your boost and stuff. But it is fun to feel like you're racing on a giant orange Hot Wheel track. It's like the sides and stuff and go over loops and stuff. My kids have really liked that one. And then Devin's favorite game with cars. I don't know. This one might be hard to play with a younger child, Devin, but would you play Rocket League with a child?
I think anybody can have fun playing it. I remember day 1 on Rocket League. It is very difficult.
Mm-hmm. You can't figure out how to move the car well. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of fun to hit the ball. You could just do a 1v1.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're both new to the game, then
yeah,
it can just be fun.
It also has some funny modes, like you could play the basketball mode or the mode with the power-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could even, I've done this with my kids actually, where we'll be on the same team and then play against the AI.
Yeah.
And I usually then just put it on like easy or pro, and then I just play as the goalie kind of and let my kid like try to get better at offense while I'm just stopping the AI from scoring. That can be a good way. We've played that tournament mode quite a bit. But I think my favorite vote here is going to be Spelunky 2, which I think is an excellent, excellent game since it's different every time because the levels kind of rebuild themselves through random generation. And it's 2D, so there's a little bit less to learn for kids maybe. I know my kids sometimes, not as much anymore since they're really into Minecraft, but at least at first struggled with moving a character in 3D. But Spelunky is great, 2D. It's very fun in multiplayer, and it can almost be like a forever game because it's very hard. And there's so many secrets and like secret endings that you can find in the game that unless you look everything up like on day 1, man, you could be finding new stuff in that for a long time. It is hard. That's when you difficult to play, at least. Well, not to play. It's the game's just hard. You're gonna die a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to just go in knowing that that's part of Spelunky. That's even like Spelunky had its own secret level episode, and it was about them like dying 75 times in like just a couple of minutes. So that's what Spelunky is. But it's one of the best games ever made, just because of the fun interactions that can happen in that randomization system, which are nuts. You can get some crazy circumstances. I think everyone should play Spelunky. It is rated T. There's like a little bit of animated blood if you like fall on some spikes. So I guess know that going in. But other than that, there's nothing like inappropriate in the game. I guess there are weapons and bombs and spiders try to bite you and stuff. But yeah, Spelunky 2 would probably be my ultimate recommendation. But I don't know. Those 5 seem okay. Any other games, Devin? Again, it's kind of a hard one because of the cross-platform stuff. But
2 came to mind. Firstly, I mean, Fortnite, obviously. Everybody plays it cross-platform. You don't have to play the normal Battle Royale mode.
Right.
You don't have to shoot anybody in that game. You can literally do puzzles, go through mazes, only up levels, where you're just bouncing around trying to do obstacle courses, that type of thing. That can be fun with other people.
Rocket racing, and they have like the Guitar Hero mode.
Yeah, there's concerts, all sorts of game modes, and that leads me to Roblox, which I don't know is cross-platform. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But that one is a similar boat where it's a very different looking game. It's not pretty like Fortnite, but there's so many modes in that game that even adults will play it and can enjoy it. And you can just constantly find new modes to play.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's cross-platform, so it might not even make the list.
I don't know either. I would imagine it probably is. I'd probably only play that one with your kid. That one kind of has a, what's the word I want to say here? It's kind of known for being a little bit sketchy. I wouldn't let my kids play it alone. We'll just say that.
Oh, because of the other people on it?
Yeah.
What can they do? Is it messages?
I think so. It might even allow voice chat in some of the rooms.
I see. So, yeah, you got to be careful.
Creeper's gonna creep. But that's probably true of many video games. So anyways, I think those were good suggestions, Devin. Nice ones. So I hope that was helpful, Alex. Thanks so much for writing in. Again, if you want to write into the show, patreon.com/supergamebrothers. Really appreciate you. And Devin, we're going to end like we did last week. I thought this was kind of fun. It'll help me clip out some more short form content, which I haven't quite gotten around to. I had a crazy busy week last week. So to our audio listeners, this is going to be the end of episode number 46. I don't think it's especially exciting for me to leave this section in where we're going to play the Gamedle for a little bit, because you can't see the pictures anyways, and you'll just hear us talking like, Devin, is this Halo?
Yeah, it would make no sense to someone with just audio.
Audio listeners, we love you. See you next week for episode 47.